didn't have cucumbers, so I'm using fruit snacks. Hey guys, welcome back. As you can see, I look underdressed. Today's video is just a storytelling video, and so I thought I'm gonna be casual for this. I got my face mask on, my hair is up in a towel, and I think we're ready to get started. I wanted to start a series on my channel that was telling stories that happened in school by the school year. I might be the only person on planet Earth to remember this, but Shane Dawson, years and years and years ago, had a series like this. It was called like School Stories, and I thought I could just steal his series directly and put my own spin on it. Also, very quickly, before we get started with the stories, I will just address the elephant in the room right now. During these stories, and while all of this was happening, my name was not Layla. For all of these stories, I'm going to be using Layla, I'm going to be using she for everything. So just know that it was not that when these all happened, but we are going to pretend like it was for now. Alright, so obviously, if we're gonna start somewhere, we might as well start at the bottom. Very beginning, preschool. I went to preschool in Virginia, in Williamsburg, Virginia, and I went to like a church preschool combination thing. I don't have a lot of memories from preschool, but here is what I do remember. I remember this one day in preschool pretty vividly. At the beginning of the day, these two girls came up to me and said,
Layla, we both like you, but we don't know which one you want to be with, so can you just pick one of us to be with?
And I said,
oh wow, well, thank you. This is a very hard decision, but how about we just split the difference and we can all be in a relationship together.
Now, obviously in preschool I had no idea what that meant, but my little preschool brain was like, why can't this just be a thing? We can all be in a relationship together. I know, like this all actually happened. Disclaimer, all of this stuff actually happened, or it is as true as it is in my memory. I would not intentionally say something wrong. I'm very much going off of how I remember things. And so I remember me choosing, they had me choose, and I chose the girl with the bangs. She had dark hair and bangs. And then we went down, it was like recess time. We went down like the little like, it wasn't a slide, it was like a mini roller coaster, and it was like the funnest thing ever. And I did it like 80 million times, and that manifested itself into a roller coaster. And that manifested itself into a roller coaster absolute love. And then we broke up later that day because the stress of choosing one of them just got to all of us, and I think we still remain friends, but I'm not really sure. I hope they're doing okay. So right before kindergarten, we moved to Indiana, where I still am. And I remember as a little kid, I was not too scared of being like the new person in school. I figured that like everyone had come from different schools and like we were all gonna be the new person. I remember going into that kindergarten class and thinking, okay, I can work with this. I made some really good friends in that kindergarten class, none of whom I'm still friends with today. A+. But I do remember I had a lot of fun, and I was quickly becoming one of the smarter kids in the class. I had advanced so much in kindergarten that I distinctly remember when my kindergarten teacher would leave the classroom, she would put me in charge of the class of teaching whatever lesson that was. I don't know how legal that is, but it happened. I distinctly remember this one kid, I taught him how to cut a circle. And I really hope that he's still using that skill that I taught him to this day. I think he's in the military now. Hopefully cutting circles. Kindergarten was fun, but I didn't really hit my stride until first grade. Now, in my first grade class, there were a lot of people that went to a different kindergarten class than me. I only knew a couple people in there, but there was this one kid in there. He lived in my neighborhood, and so we became best friends like that. We went over to each other's houses all the time. We practically did everything together, and he was like my best friend until like middle school. It was a whole thing. He's kind of an asshole now. Haha! Yikes. And this is a conversation I very distinctly remember in first grade. I was talking to this one other girl, and we were paired up for everything because both of our initials were LH. So I remember whenever we paired up with names, like by the alphabet, we would always be paired up, so we were always hanging out. I remember talking to her, and I was like, oh, I just have this song stuck in my head, but I don't remember what it's from. And she was like, sing it. And I was like,
Na 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 na.
And she was like,
it's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
And I was like,
come inside, it's fun inside.
And then we sang that, and then we like laughed, and I'm pretty sure like 2 other people joined in. And then she was like,
Yeah, I mean, that's like a kid's show, so I only watch it on like the weekends.
even then, I was like halfway,
Oh yeah, like me too.
but then like the other half of me was like,
We're kids, sis. Like, I'm like 7.
go off. So, GT arrives in 2nd grade. The first year of GT, it's a big deal. My teacher, who I absolutely adore, he is one of the most amazing humans on the face of the earth. His name is Mr. Moss. Just one of the best teachers I've truly ever had in my life. And I'm super, super grateful for him. But in 2nd grade, one of the other teachers started a program where the GT kids would tutor the non-GT kids. Like, we would pair up and kind of just go through homework, teach them about everything. And in hindsight, that's a little bit weird to pair kids up with other kids from that grade. That seems like a little bit insulting, but whatever, we went with it. And my partner was one of my closest friends from 1st grade that I had made in my class. His name is Dylan Schneider. Some of you may know that name because right now he is off doing his thing being a country singer. And what a lot of people don't know is that in probably from like 1st to like 3rd grade, best friends. So I got paired up with him for the tutoring program, and I remember that he and I were like, for our tutoring session, let's hide under the table. And I was like,
Yeah, dude, that's like so sick.
we thought we were being so rebellious because we were hiding under the table. And I remember him and I looked up at one poster, and it was like, learning can be fun, and it had like a whole bunch of like equations on the board. It was like 2 + 2 = 4, and like 1 × 4 = 4, and then it had E = mc². And then he looked at me and goes, do you know what that means? And I was like, I do, but can you tell me what that means? I was kind of shady as an 8-year-old and as a 19-year-old. And I was like, what does it mean? And he was like, E = mc². And I said politely, oh no, that is E = mc². Like the
Little 2, when it's above, means squared. So the C is being squared, which means that the C is being multiplied by itself.
And he was like, you're really smart. And I was like, thanks, bruh. So we are gonna end it with 3rd grade. All of the GT kids have like, we've all gotten to know each other. We've gotten to know the group dynamics. And plot twist, there were new kids coming in 3rd grade. And I remember all of the like boys who went to this one church was like, that girl's coming in. And I remember even in like 3rd grade, them being like, she's a little hoe. Like, that's really not appropriate for 3rd grade or really forever, because like, don't be calling girls hoes, you know what I mean? Unless it's like your friend, you're like, hey ho! And then she got transferred into the class on my birthday. And I was like, oh, great. I get this annoying girl as a birthday present. Ew. And then it turns out that she was really annoying, and I believe she continues to badmouth me, so. So you know how I said that my 2nd grade teacher, Mr. Moss, was like the best thing to ever happen? Everyone loved his class. He was just the best. The 3rd grade teacher, one of the worst people I've ever met. I don't know why she was a teacher. She hated kids. Why are you a 3rd grade teacher if you hate kids? I have a couple short stories that I want to share from 3rd grade. I remember that in my elementary school, the principal had all of the teachers bring in an old photo of themselves so that the students could see what they looked like back when they were like teenagers or whatever. And our teacher, when she brought in her photo, we all noticed that she was really, really pretty. And we weren't gonna say anything, but now she wasn't. Mainly because of her personality. It was giving her face like the these wrinkles, you know what I mean? Like the sag wrinkles from being like, yeah. You know what I mean? So one of my good friends at the time looks at the photo, looks at my teacher, and says,
"Wow, you used to be really pretty. What happened?"
what? Now, none of us expected him to like read this teacher to the ground, but he did, and he got his name in the discipline book, which is the next story I wanted to tell you. This teacher had a thing called the discipline book, and whenever you got in trouble, you had to write your name in the discipline book. Everyone had a page, and if you got in trouble, you had to go over and sign your name. I don't really know what that meant, but she made you do it in front of everyone, so I guess it was like public humiliation. I definitely had a couple in the discipline book. I can guarantee that 100% of them were, I could not shut up. I did not shut up from kindergarten to now. So whenever I got in trouble during school, it was always because of talking. Always. I never really did anything like disrespectful or anything to the teacher. I just would not stop talking to all of my friends. And so in the discipline book, whenever you would write your name, it would go all the way down the page and then another column. And then if you filled up a page, she would tear it out, have you take it home to your parents, and your parents had to sign it and bring it back. And whenever it got to a new quarter, like a quarter of the way through the year, she would get a new notebook, start a new discipline book. So, blank slate. 3 of my friends filled up 4 pages. This one quarter, they filled up 4 pages in the discipline book. How? Like how? I don't understand, although it did get to the point where one of them just got in trouble so much that he would get a name in the discipline book for anything. Like, I remember he sneezed and he got a name in the discipline book. And I was like, what kind of teaching are you doing? Where it's like, fear-mongering should not be teaching, parenting, anything like that. So I hope you guys enjoy me telling stories because I really want to do more of it on this channel.
And then my camera died. Love that for me. But all I really wanted to say was how much I enjoy telling stories. And believe me, as I get older, the stories only get wilder. So, make sure to subscribe for more videos, and hit the like button if you want to see more stories. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. Mwah. Bye guys.